Thank you, Ivan. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to Wisdom's Lunch right here in the UK. And the whole idea really is to promote what wisdom is about, and also to connect with other people, and more importantly, to share some inspiring and motivation stories that could just push us, give us that hump. As we step, we're in the final month of the year. Yeah, and we, some of us will take some time away to reflect and to examine what's happened this year as we prepare for 2021. A lot's happened already in 2020 that has made people begin to reassess and re-examine, their lives and their businesses and everything. You're in a state of what's going on now. What does the future hold? And so, what we aim to do in this event is to inspire you one way or another. Is to share some hope that can keep you going. Someone said, it says it has been said that the human spirit, the human body can survive 40 days without food. 40 days without food. We can survive 4 days without water. We can survive 4 minutes even without air, without oxygen. But for whatever reason, the human being just cannot survive 4 seconds without hope. When hope is missing, the human spirit begin to give up and say, you know what, what's the point? When we listen to Viktor Frankl, one of the survivors of the Holocaust, and he shared a story at a very trying time, and one of the nights, one of the cold nights that they had there, someone literally, every time you get one of the people in the prison camp giving you a note saying, here's a letter to my family members. Please give that to them. Once they submit that to you, what they are saying to you is that they are giving up. And just just to see if in the morning you look at what's happening in the morning, they're gone. The human spirit leaves them. They die at the moment of writing that letter, because what they are saying is, I am giving up hope. Hope is a, someone said hope is not a strategy. I agree with that. But hope is a bedrock. When we have hope, we can step into our place of power. When we have just a tiny bit of hope, we can step into action and we can begin to create stuff. So today I want to welcome everybody for joining. I can see a few faces who are joining right now. Thank you for joining here today. And we hope that you will gain something from today's session. We hope that you will take a little bit of tiny bit of hope that could change anything, that could change your mountain, that could change your game, that could place you at a place of where you want to be when it comes to your goals, when it comes to your dreams, when it comes to your business and your own aspirations. Just a tiny bit. If that works today, then we have accomplished our goal. So we have fantastic line of speakers. We have Elizabeth here. We have Drew, who's just joined us. We have Edward Chapman. We have Mobile, who will be joining us soon. We have all of these fantastic people who are creating something in their own world, and they will be here to just share, their story. So please have an open mind, because some of the things you're going to hear, you've heard it before. You've heard it before. You've heard all the wise words. You've heard all the quotes. You've heard all the stories. But hey, every story is different, and everybody is different. Everybody's got something to say, and just a little bit of hope that they can push out and share with you today. And we hope that as you step away from this gig today, that you will go into your own business and revitalize and plan and expand your vision, expand whatever it looks like for you. We hope that after this event, you will go into your family life and begin to say, what can I do here? What can I create more? Where can I put more value and time and energy into it? And that's the goal. That's our goal for today. So welcome everybody, and it's a great privilege for me to be joined with Wisdom, a fantastic company. As I mean, we have half of the house, I think, from South Africa here. You already know Wisdom. Lee, Trevor, Ivan, powerful people who are the engine behind this, who are pushing this out there, who are spending their time every morning with people and channeling and sharing some wisdom and sharing some truth. So it's a great privilege for me as Kelvin to be involved and to have this honor. For me, it's an honor. It's an appreciation of my work, and I really don't take this for granted. And I want to say a big thank you to Wisdoms for putting this together. Thank you to Lee. Thank you to Trevor. Thank you to Ivan. When we look at how we connected, It was all about, I'm all about connecting with people. I believe in the power of collaboration. I believe in the power of meeting people and creating synergy. You know, I will share some of my story very shortly with you, but this is what it's all about. I'm about connecting with people and wisdom. Fantastic. So in a very short minute, I'm going to give the wisdom, the leadership of wisdom, a chance to just share and introduce themselves, to share their vision, what this is all about, what they aim to create, what their objectives are. You know, they run a 7 a.m. Meeting. I think it's about 7 a.m. in the UK, but about 8 a.m. now, isn't it? Well, very quietly in South Africa, every, Monday to Friday, they're right there sharing some truth. So let me open the floor with Trevor. Trevor, if you're there, if you want to just introduce yourself and share the vision of wisdom. It's a privilege to hear from you.
So thank you, Kelvin. Trevor Nel is my name. I'm one of the co-founders of Wisdoms. And really our aim is just to connect with positive, passionate people who want to make a difference in the world. And one of the exciting things for us was when COVID came along and we were all locked down into our offices. In fact, for us, we're into our 250th day of lockdown today in South Africa. But immediately, the day before lockdown, our chamber members, and I head up the local chamber here as well, our chamber members came back to us and turned around and said, well, what do we do now? Our industries have been completely wiped out. And we sat down and said, well, look at us. We're not the youngest spring chickens in town. We've got a little bit of experience, almost 1,000 years worth of experience in that first little group. And we said, well, why don't we connect to the rest of the world with virtual summits? And within a week, in fact, within 21 days, we had this platform up and running, thanks to guys like Ivan in the background, who handles all the technicals. Lee came in and set up Wisdom's chats, and we started connecting to people on a global basis, and we went from a local operation to a global operation. Now, one of the things we want to do, Kelvin, with you, obviously, is plant a stake in the ground in the UK and meet with positive, passionate people just like ourselves who want to make a difference in the lives of others. So we've come up with a couple of concepts which we'll talk about later on.
That's awesome, Trevor. Awesome. That's great work that you're doing, and it just takes a seed that's been planted, isn't it? And the seed can grow. Whether it grows in 2 months or 3 months or a year, it doesn't really matter as long as the seed has been planted. So fantastic, and again, such a privilege. Fantastic. Let's hear from Lee. If Lee's available, let's see if Lee's available to just say a few words. Okay.
I think it looks like she might be struggling a little bit with her signal there, Kelvin. There's a happy smiling face, but it was frozen for a moment. We'll try again. Can you hear us, Lee?
Okay.
I'm not sure if you can hear me. So I'm going to turn my video. Is it any better if I just turn the video? Okay, I'm going to just type my message in the chat.
Okay. I think we can move over to Trevor now. Sorry, to Ivan.
Great, thanks, Kelvin, and yeah, welcome everybody. It's fantastic to be here with all of you, and we certainly hope others will join us during the course of the day and be inspired. As I say, that's the goal of what we've put together for today, as Kelvin inspires and wisdoms have come together. And as Trevor was saying earlier, it's been an amazing journey for us just in this last short 6 or 7 months since lockdown began here. Going from a local operation to connecting with fantastic people around the globe, and we really have met some amazing people around the globe, and a number of them are on this particular session here, which is absolutely fantastic. So yourself, Kelvin, Ed, Vinay and Trevor Carty, are South Africans who we've been connecting with more regularly on a local basis. People that we may not have connected with before. Nice to meet you, Drew and Elizabeth and Sophia for the first time. Really good to connect with you, and this technology, this opportunity, I think has just opened up so much for everybody who's really prepared to sort of put their hands up and take advantage of it. And I think the folk that have done it are truly starting to see the benefits. And and really make those international connections and their presence is felt. And we've had 3 fantastic events already during this period. The first was on the 19th of June. That was a 4-day event where we had 32 speakers. Was a great event. The second one was on the 24th of July, where we introduced people like Ed and yourself, Kelvin. I think you joined us on that particular event. That was a 1-day event, which was also, we had some stunning speakers from around the globe. People from the UK, from the US, from New Zealand, from Bali, from South Africa, from Ghana. It was really an excellent event. And then on the 24th of September, our third event, which was a 10-hour event, again, speakers all over the world. And we've just found this energy, this passion, in people around the world to really put their hands up and say, look, I'm here, I'm keen to get involved. I really want to make an impact and a difference in the world. And then now we brought up this our 4th event with you, which is absolutely superb, and we're really appreciative of the time and the effort that you and your guests are putting in here and making it really work for us and creating fantastic content, which I think is timeless, absolutely timeless content. As you said, people may have heard these things before, but at the end of the day, it's not whether you've heard it, it's whether you've taken it and actually done something with it. And I think that's really what makes it timeless information. You can go back to these chats time and time again and just learn something new every time you listen to the speakers. And that's really what one of our major goals is to provide this really high quality content for people all over the place to get engaged with and get involved with and hopefully benefit. And that's the way we look to make a difference around the globe. And so thanks again to you and your speakers for enabling us today to actually make this foray into the UK, and hopefully this is just the first of many to come.
Fantastic. Thank you again. Thank you, Ivan. Ivan, you are, the engine. So thank you so much for being the engine that keeps this machine working. And from Lee to everybody, thank you for joining. Lee's on a journey from Cape Town to J-Bug, and hopefully she'll join us shortly again. So welcome everybody. Welcome. I'm just going to try and share my screen, and let me pull this up real quick. Just to hold on a minute. Where are we? Okay. Yeah, so I'm just going to share my screen just to show you. I'm just going to do a quick talk, about 20 to 30 minutes really, and the idea here is just to share some wisdom with you, share some truth, just to connect with you again. And again, thank you all for joining. And just to give you a recap of what's going to happen today, so I'm going to share my speech, a very short speech within 30 minutes, and then we should have a break. And being the time that I stop until 11 a.m., we'll have the second speaker, Elizabeth Fabiyi, who will come up at 11, and also there'll be a 30 minutes talk, and there'll be a chance for a Q&A. So we're hoping from 11:30 to 11:50, 20 minutes. If there are any questions that you want to bring to the speaker, any questions that come up whilst you listen to the talk, please write it down, and there'll be a chance for you to put your questions forward. And we also have Edward Chapman. I had a great conversation with Edward last week. Fantastic, man. Listen, I walked away from that session with so much nuggets, and I went somewhere and began to share it. And Edward, I started talking as a professional runner, just to share some truth with people. A great chat. I know today he is going to share some great truths that you can walk away with. And also we've got Mobu at 1 p.m. Mobu will also share within 30 minutes. There'll be also another chance for Q&A. And finally, we have Drew Patel at 2 p.m. Drew, a great buddy. He's a great guy who runs a sales and marketing company, your lead machine. He's going to share his story, just like Elizabeth will share her story, Edward will share his story, and Mobu. Everybody has got a story to tell. And sometimes you can find the secrets of people, how they do things in their story. I believe everyone is unique, and we've all got something to share. And in a moment, I'll be doing the introduction from time to time for each of the speakers. But for now, let me just share with you some of the things that I think, in line with the theme of this event, which is to evolve, to be unstoppable, to evolve and to be unstoppable, to keep pushing through. Here we go. You know, and I think that's a fantastic topic to talk about, especially in the climate that we're in right now. You know, I woke up in January 1, 2020 with high expectations, with a high desire to do more, to be more, to have more. But suddenly we get, you know, a lot of things were coming in. And I remember my first gig this year was with a business partner of mine. We were running a program and I did a live talk. And I thought, you know, for the rest of the year, I'm going to be doing training face to face until COVID came along. COVID came in and shocked the world. And it became real. You know, those businesses had to change. People had to adapt. I had to adapt. I had to change some things. And today, you know, I'm glad that, you know, we with the things that I've done, you know, I always believe that we go back again to our foundation. Just like Trevor said today, we're sowing a seed. It's about the seed that we sow. The seed that we sow on a daily basis is going to reap for us a harvest, either a harvest of thorns or a harvest of great plenty and precious, you know, precious fruits and the rest of it. You know, it depends on what seeds that we sow into our lives. And that's why when I hear the word evolve, what comes to my mind really is it's two critical questions I want to ask for everybody listening today. Two critical questions. Number one, do you want to achieve even more out of your life? Do you want to achieve even more out of your life? That's to say that you might be achieving great stuff right now. You might be, you know, hitting your milestones. You might be creating great stuff in your business, in your world. But hey, hold on. Is there more inside you? Is there still more in your tank? Is there still more for you to give? Is there still more for you to share? Is there still more within you for you to create? So the question really is, do you want to achieve more? And the second question is, do you want to keep growing to be the best that you can be? And sometimes the best, you know, we just when we hit the best, there's more. You know, I'm sure pretty much you can align with it. Just when you hit those targets, just when you hit those milestones, you realize there's still more inside me. There's still more for me to give. And so as we look at the subject evolve, just to share a bit of my story, as some of you already know, who already know me, I had the opportunity to join the John Maxwell team as of 2019. But prior to that, I was working in the bank. I was working in one of the high street banks here in the UK, and sometimes, you know, it's a job that, you know, when I was in the job, when I was in that moment, it was like, get me out of here real quick, because there's a whole lot of things that I wanted to happen for me, but for whatever reason, it just wasn't happening. I wasn't growing. I wasn't reaching, you know, I wasn't able to express myself, express my giftings. I had those moments where, you know, some people just set a limit. This is how far you could go, Kelvin. And then no matter how far you try, no matter how hard you try, you're just right there. This is the limit. So I was in a state of, is this all that there is for me? Can I do more? Is this what my life is all about? And if you were to go back to my history, you will see that my mom and my dad worked in the bank all their life, worked in the bank in Nigeria. And hey, I was almost walking their pathway, living their life. You know, I was doing the same thing, going to work 9 to 5, working in a job that just, you know, I couldn't do more, I couldn't be more, and opportunities to do more was hinged by someone else's opinion, by someone else's thoughts, someone else's assessment of my own capabilities. You know, so I was in that moment, and I remember I was blessed to have a chat with a coach who sat me down and asked me some really powerful questions. And one of the questions was, Kelvin, just the same question here. Do you want to achieve even more out of your life, Kelvin? Do you want to be the best that you can be? Is this all that there is for you, Kelvin? And I sat there in the room looking at him, you know, face to face, and I'm thinking, what's he talking about? I'm trying my best here. I'm trying my hard here. And he's like, is that all that you could do? Is there more inside of you, Kelvin? You know, and he asked me some questions. Well, what do you want out of life? And I looked at him and I don't know. I'm working. I'm trying hard here. All right, give me a break. And he just kept on going. And I'm grateful that he didn't stop. I'm grateful that he kept challenging me. And I walked away from that room and I went home, and I wish I had all the answers for him at that point, but I did. You know, just cleaning my house a few days after, and the thought just dropped into my heart. right. Well, you like speaking when you were young, Kelvin. You did a bit of talks when you were in secondary school back in Nigeria. You did some talks. People like hearing you speak. You've got that energy inside of you, and somewhere along the line, because sometimes no matter how big your dream is, life has a way of slapping you and bringing you back to reality. You want your dreams? Are you going to pay your bills, Kelvin? So I just just went online just like everybody else was doing. Got to University of Portsmouth here in the UK, did a master's in business management, and it ended up in a job. And I was just in a job, which I was stuck. And that moment when I started thinking about what I really wanted to do, coaching and speaking dropped into my spirit. Just to summarize the story, I went to the coaching academy in London, joined it, and I felt, yeah, I like this. So 2014 was when I had my light bulb moment, the eureka moment, that I wanted to be a coach. I wanted to speak in 2014. That's when it all came into me. And I was still working a job. So I still had a job to keep up to and still show up 9 to 5, still deliver. And I remember at one point in my journey, one of my managers pulled me aside at the job and said, Kelvin, let's have a chat, Kelvin. Let's have a chat. You seem to be busy outside. You seem to be doing a lot of talking here and there. You see, you got a choice to make, Kelvin. Choose one. You either stay in this job or you go do your speaking. And I'm like, oh my God, how dare you? How dare you? And he said, yeah, you're going to choose one, Kelvin. You either stay here or you go, and do your speaking and do your talks. And he was trying to reprimand me because somewhere along the line, my job was going down, my performance was going low, and it had to take someone to ask me that question when I should have asked myself the question: is this where you want to be, or is this where you want to be? I had to take someone else who was trying to reprimand me to make me sit down and think and really give myself the permission to dream, the permission to jump. And so 2018, I decided, you know what, I'm done. I'm going away and I'm going to start my own company, Kelvin Inspires. I want to just motivate and inspire people through coaching, through motivational talks. And I jumped into that, and some of this, sometimes I have to share the part of me that people don't see all the time. There's a part of me when I jumped, I listened to Steve Harvey once and he said something. He says, jump. He says, jump. When you have those dreams and they come to you, jump. And trust me, someone said, there's a quote that says, when you jump, you build your wings on your way down and then you fly. And Trevor, I jumped and I went down. There was no wings built mid-air. I jumped and I went right down to the ground floor, and I had to build upon skills and my skills and talents and refine them, and I met with disappointments. I met with failure, and this is how I see life now. I'm pretty sure you might agree or disagree, but I see life as when you jump, you're going to go ground floor. And when you get to the ground floor, you're going to build your wings. You're going to take some time and strategize. You're going to take some time and get your wings together. You're going to put all those things together that can make you fly. And just when you think you're good, you fly from ground zero to, you go past the ground, the first floor, and all of a sudden you go right down again, boom. You're down back to the ground floor, and then you're gonna ask, "What's going on with my wings? What's happening?" Everyone's told me I could make this work. Everyone's,
Kelvin, we seem to have lost your sound.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay.
You can now. Yeah, you went quiet for a moment there.
Oh wow! I was in emotion there.
You were going full steam. You were going full steam ahead there. Yeah. We missed the best part. Yeah.
Absolutely. Please let me know if it goes quiet again. Hopefully it doesn't, but please let me know again. So
listen, Kelvin, don't get so excited that you hit your space bar, because that shuts you up. You see, so go back to, you just found your wings. Yeah.
So I found my wings, right? I took some time and with the help of great people, with the help of powerful people around me, sometimes this is why I believe that no man is an island. We all need the help of each other to keep going, to keep dreaming, to keep believing in it. Because the reality is, when you take your dream out there, when you take your goals out there, when you start your business, you face difficulties that you've never thought about before. You see things that you you never planned for. And all of this is just a game that life is playing with you to test your resilience, to test your resource, to see how to your resolve, to see how good you are if you really want it. John Maxwell wrote a book called Put Your Dream to the Test. I wish I had read that book before I jumped out, because I read the book while I was in the process. I'm like, okay, this is why things are hard for me, right? This is why things are going this way, because I didn't get this right. I didn't strategize right. I didn't talk to people right. I didn't make myself available. I didn't connect to people that can help me. I was trying to do it on my own. And all of a sudden I began to see that, okay, there's a loopholes here. And I began to re-strategize and connect. And today, I had the opportunity. One of the biggest thing for me was to join the John Maxwell program in 2019. Remember, I left the bank 2018, started doing my business for the whole 6 months. I was just going through failure, right? Up and down, trying to tell everybody, I'm a speaker, I can help you. I can change your game. And those were being shut at me. Shut up, Kelvin. We don't want you. All of that was coming in. And I remember, joining the John Maxwell program. And that was a turning point for me. That marked a beginning where I began to see myself from a different light. And when I met with John Maxwell, about 2,000 people in Orlando 2019, he asked one powerful question. And the question really stuck with me, which is why I want to share this with you about the subject of evolve. And the question really was, okay, Kelvin, you talked about your goals, your dreams, but Kelvin, let me ask you one question, Kelvin. Can you come a bit closer, Kelvin? What is your personal growth plan? What is your personal growth plan? How do you plan to keep growing? How do you plan to keep growing? Do you have a personal growth plan? Do you recognize that you are the machine, you are the engine for that business, for those things that you want to create, for the ideas, the things that are coming to you? You are the engine. You can have a business plan. You can show me all your business plan. Great. But let me stay with you for a moment. Do you have a personal growth plan? And that for me, again, shifted my perspective towards life. It made me go back and answer the question honestly. And the question was, no, I've never thought about it that way. I never thought I needed a personal growth plan. All I ever thought about was a business plan, and all that plan, but no personal growth plan. And that made me to think, and want to share something with you here. It says, what is your personal growth plan? What is the plan for you to grow as a person, so that you can have the things that you want? There's a principle that says the be, do, have. Sometimes we've got to be the person, be the right person to do the things that we need to do so we can have the things that we need to have. And for me, when I looked at the be aspect, I didn't have that. I didn't have a personal growth plan. I didn't think I would evolve. I didn't plan to evolve. I didn't plan to keep growing. And that's why sometimes we might be good at everything, and we hear of highly successful people who have mental breakdowns or get into a state where they can't perform anymore because somewhere along the line they've missing they've ignored the magical ingredient to bring that dream, to bring those businesses to the highest level. And that person is you. That person is me. What is my personal growth plan? And just like the seed, that's a seed right there. A seed has to grow. The seed will die if the seed is not watered. If the seed is not constantly checked on, the seed will die. The seed is meant to germinate and produce. Just the same way we are. The moment we stop eating, the moment we stop nourishing our body, as the moment we begin to lose our energy, and before we know it, we lose the will to be alive. So we must focus on ourselves. And one of the laws that, there are 15 laws of growth. One of the laws I want to share with you in the space that I have now is the law of intentionality. It says growth doesn't just happen. For me to be the best that I can be, it's not going to happen automatically. It says nobody ever climbs a hill accidentally. It says everything worthwhile, everything that I need in life is at the top of the mountain, but nobody goes to the top of the mountain accidentally. I have to go, even if I sleepwalk. I don't, Ed, what you do, hiking and running. If I woke up one morning and I started, walking, sleepwalking, and just doing whatever, if I began, take a step up a mountain, immediately I wake up because it's steep. I feel the pain on my legs. Like, hey, what's going on here? So nobody goes up a mountain accidentally. You have got to be intentional. I climbed a mountain recently, the tallest mountain in England. It's called Scaffold Pike, about 3,000 feet up. I climbed it recently with a few guys, about 11 of us, and oh my goodness, I I was just, just going up a little bit, just I'll say the first floor, and all of a sudden my breathing began to change. I'm like, help me, can I go back? There were 11 of us on that trip, and I felt I wasn't ready for this. I had done so much practice and training, but well, it was a different kind of game for me. And I remember one of the chaps in the group, he does extreme sports, really great guy. We call him the GOAT, the GOAT. And he said to me, Kelvin, I'll take your bag. I said, really? He said, I'll carry your bag. So he took my bag and he put it on his own bag. And I'm like, oh my God, you're carrying my bag. You might as well just take my masculinity. Take me away. But he carried my bag, and another chap, he carried his bag, and he was so good. He just kept going right to the top. I did it anyway. I reached the top, but it was a lot of work. And that's the same thing with life. That's the same thing with business. It's a whole lot of work. We have got to have a personal growth plan so that we can evolve, so that we can evolve into a place that we are unstoppable. Says personal growth is not a natural process in most people's lives. James Allen says most people are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves, therefore they remain bound. Remain bound in the same thinking, remain bound in the same thoughts, the same ideas that kept them where they are. For us to improve, we must be willing to work on ourselves. And the key question for everyone today, and the key question for myself today is, do you plan to grow? And are you intentional about your plan? Are you intentional about growing? Powerful question there. The greatest gap in the world is the space between knowing and doing. A lot of people know, Ivan said it, we can know it, but the big key question is, are we doing it? Are we doing it? Are we doing it? Are we actually doing what we need to do to be the best that we could be? We've got some people joining in, so welcome everybody. So there are 8 growth gap traps I want to share in the space of 10 minutes, and then we'll move on to the next. It says the first is the exemption gap. A lot of people have this gap. I assume I will automatically grow. I used to think I would grow automatically. If I just kept doing this and kept doing that, I would grow automatically. And the reality is when if we assume that we will automatically grow, what is the likely outcome? The outcome is we don't grow automatically. We grow by intention. We grow by intentionally having our meals every day, by drinking cups of water every day. It's good for our body. We have to be intentional to grow for ourselves, to engage in things that can help us grow and improve our mind. The mind is so powerful that we've been blessed with, this right here between my 2 ears. So powerful. So it just keeps receiving. Just keeps receiving and giving, and I tell you what to say, I tell you what to give, but the mind is constantly reaching. We are right now. You're either thinking about your lunchtime, you're either thinking about what's Kelvin saying, you're either thinking about the next speaker, what's the next speaker going to say. Your mind is constantly reaching, and so we have got to be intentional to say, I want to feed my mind with the right stuff. I want to feed my mind with the right information, with the right motivation, with the right inspiration. I want to engage with people who know better than I am. I want to engage with people who are achieving the highest level so that they can impact my life, so that I can keep growing. When we have a personal growth plan, we realize that it's not just about goals, it's about growing. It's about constantly growing. And how can you know if you're growing or not? I say, have a look at your results. Because everything that we're producing right now is at a form as a result of our own level of self-awareness. When we spend time increasing the self-awareness, we can increase the goals, we can increase the results and the outputs that we bring out. So let's go into that. The next gap again is the knowledge gap. Most people say, I don't know how to grow. How do I grow? I don't know how to grow. Not knowing how to grow can be a powerful reason to simply not to try to grow. If you don't know how to grow, the question today is to ask, how can I grow? And so look around you and say, who are the people achieving great feats in the area I want to? Who are the people doing things in the area that I performing at the highest level? How can I connect with them? How can I learn what they are doing so that I can keep growing? The next gap that holds people down from having the personal growth plan or a desire to grow is a timing gap. People say it's not the right time to begin. You know, the law of diminishing returns says that the longer you wait to do something you should do now, the greater the odds that you will never do it. You know, Muhammad Ali said a man at the age of 50 who still looks at life the way he did or the way she did at the age of 20 has missed 30 years of life. They have missed the 30-year gap in learning, in growing. And, you know, the right time to grow is now. The right time to grow, if I had, I would say yesterday, but for all intents and purposes, the right time to keep growing is now. What happens the longer we wait to do anything? Nothing ever happens. What do you think about the idea of starting your personal growth journey now, even though you are scared and unprepared? Listen, it's all about getting in, asking yourself a question, what areas do I want to grow? What part of my life needs to grow? I always believe so much in the human spirit as a mind, body, spirit. You say the mind, you got to grow the mind. The body, you got to have to spend time in the gym, spend time running. You know, Ed is going to share some things about his journey and running. And listen, there's some great truth here. We've got to, this is a machine. This machine needs constant cultivation, needs attention so that we can perform at the highest level and so that we can achieve even more out of life, even in this space of what's going on in the world globally in terms of COVID, the restrictions, the lockdown. If we can keep our body going, if we can keep our mind going, if we can keep our spirit going, if we can keep all of us going, we can achieve more, we can push through. The human spirit is unstoppable and we all have resilience. One of the gaps is the mistake gap. People are afraid of making mistakes. Remember, growing is not always a clean and a neat pursuit. Once we decide to grow, we must expect mistakes and welcome them as a sign that we're moving in the right direction. I shared with you that I fell. I went right down when I started my business. You know, I was willing to make a mistake, although it didn't look good at that time. Everyone was running away from me. It was a state of help me. But hey, I carried on. Make mistakes, make them quick, make them fast, make them on time, make them early so that you can learn from them and then you can keep pushing. Come on now. The perfection gap. You know, the gap is I have to find the best way before I start. I have to find the best personal growth plan, the best books to read first, the best. No, just pick one up and get on with it. Just pick one up and get on with it. Get ready. It says, where the mistake gap says, I can't move out of fear of making a mistake, the perfection gap says, I will move only when I have the perfect plan. Listen, the perfect plan doesn't exist. I could go to Trevor Nel, I could go to Edward, I could go to Ivan, I could go to Drew, I could go to Elizabeth, I could go to Mobile, I could go to all the guests that we have here and ask, have you ever had the perfect plan? And the result would be no. Especially when you're trying to create something big, when you're trying to do something you've never done before, you are going to make mistakes. You know, the perfect part of the scripture, it says, he who waits for perfect condition will never sow. And we're here about sowing seed. You know, we don't care about the numbers. We're just here to let it be written in the sands of time. The Wisdom's event is being launched in the UK December 1, hosted by Kelvin Uchemefune. Let's have it down on the history, on the record books that we showed up, that we are here. We're not seeking perfection. What we're seeking is the willingness to grow and the willingness to be present. Come on now. All right, the inspiration gap. Oh, yes, I hear this all the time. I don't feel like doing it. Oh, I woke up on the wrong side of bed today. I don't want to get up. I want to stay in bed. I don't feel like it. Listen, out of all the gaps, this is the one that requires a simple decision. Will you do it or will you not? Will you move or will you not? Will you grow or will you not? Will you start that business or will you not? Will you look for ways to change your business and adapt to the current climate and create new ways of doing things? Or will you stay where you are? The major difference between those who do it and those who don't do it is that those who do it. Come on now. Those who do it anyway. Feelings are unreliable. Our feelings are deceptive. Feelings, when we move by feelings, we don't really move too far. When we move by feelings, we're swayed easily. We're stopped, and you know, we limit ourselves. We limit ourselves when we rely on feelings. And sometimes you got to start, take the action, and so the feeling can follow up. action leads and feelings follow up. You know, we start on the treadmill, whether we like it or not, 5K or 2K, we just started and the feelings will join. He says, do you agree with this statement? You are more likely to act yourself into a feeling than feel yourself into an action. And I'm pretty sure the answer, we know the answer there. The comparison gap. We compare ourselves. Others are better than me. Why do I even want to try? Why do I even want to have a plan? Why do I want to be the best? Why do I want to achieve more? Well, when I try, people started. Hey, listen, there are two truths about others. There is always someone better than you. The moment I realized that, it gave me some sense of humility. Come on, Kelvin, calm down, calm down. There are people who know better than you, people who do it better than you, and people who say better than you. But that's okay. I'm okay to be me. I'm okay to show up and be happy for the better ones, because you will learn from those in front of you. And the moment you stop learning is the moment you start dying. So to evolve, to be unstoppable, we must be willing to learn from others. We must be willing to put our ego aside and say, hey, how can I learn from you? Can I just ask a question? Because I'm struggling in this area. Can you show me how I could be more and do more? And sometimes only that question can change your whole game. Someone may be looking at you. That's the key point. Someone right now is looking at each of every one of us right now as the better one. They're looking at us as we know better, we do better, we say better. We are the better ones in their world view. And our duty is to show them the way. Show them the way. The expectation gap. I thought it would be easier than this. You know, I thought personal growth is easy. Personal growth is not easy. It requires a commitment. It requires a commitment. Every time we make a commitment, we are faced with competing commitments, competing things that would always try to get our time, always try to get more of our energy, always try to get our money, always try to get everything about us. And sometimes we have to say, I am going to stick with this. I am going to do it no matter what. Because when I do it, the results will show. When I do what I need to do, I will be happy with myself. I will be of integrity with myself, and I did it anyway. What we call lucky is usually not, it says preparation, growth, attitude, opportunity, action, all equals luck. Someone says, it says when opportunity comes, preparation is too late. I'll say that again. When opportunity comes, preparation is too late. We've got to be ready for the opportunities that are coming our way for 2021. We have got to position ourselves in a place where we're able to grab the opportunities that are coming. We have got to be able to position ourselves in places that make us count, that make us relevant. Because I tell you, for our business to grow to the highest level, in 2021, we have got to be willing to change. We have got to be willing to adapt and ask the questions that are hard and ask the questions that require an answer. If we have got to prove and to prove to ourselves that we want it, So we've got to stay ready. Preparation. So have a look at this diagram. Rate yourself in this chat. Where are you? Accidental growth or intentional growth? Accidental growth plans to start tomorrow. Intentional growth insists on starting right this moment. Accidental growth waits for growth to come. Intentional growth takes responsibility to grow. Accidental growth learns only from mistakes. Intentional growth learns before mistakes. Accidental growth depends on good luck. Intentional growth relies on hard work. Accidental growth quits early and often. Intentional growth perseveres long and hard. So you either fall into a bad habit or you fight for good habit. You either talk big or you follow through. You either play safe or you take risks. You either think like a victim or you think like a learner. You either rely on your talent or you rely on character. You either stop learning after graduation or you never stop learning. Today, I hope that you've got someone out of this. And the goal here is to challenge you to begin to ask yourself, what are my personal growth plans? What are the plans that I have now for myself to grow, to be the best that I can be, to be the best I can? And if you haven't got one, take some time. Ask yourself, personal growth plan. Personal growth plan for Kelvin. And I look at my life as three. I'm a mind, I've got a mind, I've got a body, I've got a spirit. So my mind, I've got to work on my mind. I've got to read books that, whatever. I listen to audio programs. In fact, one of the guys in the group here, Drew, is going to be sharing, some chat with us today at the final session. He's a member of a group that me and my business partner run. And we talked about 10 to 11 business people. And we talk about books that we can read. We share books. We're on audio books and we share information because we want to keep growing. We have an agreement with destiny, an agreement with life that we are going to be the best, that we are going to achieve even more out of life. And so we share materials amongst ourselves. Hey, this is the book I'm reading. Have a look at this. Oh, this is what I'm doing. Have a look at this. And we set goals like that. So we also have, we do I talked about the climb up the Scaffold Pike Lake District this year. It's with a group of people as well. We push ourselves in the body wise. We got to keep working on the body. We go to the gym, we run, we walk, we do exercise, we do seconds on a Saturday. We keep growing our body. And in the spirit, I'm going to take some time to reflect. I'm going to engage some time to connect to a higher power and to say, hey, sometimes I need some help. Sometimes I just want to be away from everybody and just recline and be with myself. So those are 3 things I focus on a daily basis: my mind, my body, and my spirit. I focus on them, giving them the right engine, giving them the right food, the right nutrition, so that I could do the things that I need to do in my business and in life. I hope that you got some great value from this session. And trust me, there's a lot more coming just right after this. And I just, if there's anybody who's got a question, please ask your question. If you've got questions now, we just